Hi, my name's Andy Clayton and I'm here on this brand new YouTube channel to talk about things that are tech related and also not tech related. This very first video is a tech related video. They seem to be very popular on YouTube and I don't want to be any different. So here is a look around my desk setup. Now the first part of my desk setup is this. It's a Canon MX870 printer. It is the oldest part of the setup. It works pretty well really for a printer that's a few years old now. I thought it had packed up last year, but it was a problem with the compatible ink cartridges, and it works pretty well. I have it hooked up via network rather than USB, and perhaps if I make any more of these videos I'll explain my reasoning behind that. Next to that we have, this is a Thrustmaster, if I can focus. This is a Thrustmaster joystick. It's just a cheap joystick. I use it for playing Elite Dangerous, which came out of beta on the Mac just this week when I'm filming this. And yeah, that again does the job pretty well. It's nothing flash, works alright. Next we have one of the most important parts of the system. This is my late 2013 Mac Pro. This is the 6-core model, but it's got D300 cards, the entry level cards in it. It actually works really well. I'm really pleased with it. The graphics cards work really well on Elite Dangerous. The only problem with it is with its shiny surface, you can't focus on it. Next we have a Magic Mouse, which I've had for a while, and that's kind of on a slightly grubby mouse mat. And then a wired Mac keyboard. Now I like the wired keyboards just because I prefer having the keypad on the right hand side there, and the wireless ones don't have that. They just have the keys, obviously. So I don't mind having a wire out the back. I'm not one of these people that really likes to have everything wireless. It's not a problem. Next we have an Extreme Mac soundbar. This is quite good. It did go better design with my previous monitor, which I'll talk about in a moment. But the sound that comes out of it is pretty good. And I got that when I got the Mac Pro, so just to have an external sound rather than relying on the sound that you get from monitors. Speaking of which, did you get that link there? That was good. Next is this. I've got to back out the room almost here. This is my newest piece of kit. This is an LG 31MU97 4K, true 4K monitor. I could bore for England on this. There's been all sorts of stuff on the internet about this particular monitor and about 4K monitors in general. So I found it fine. Other people have had problems with this monitor. If I do some more not just tech videos, maybe I'll talk about that. It replaced, if I go under the desk here, it replaced this, which is a 30-inch Apple Cinema display, which was my display for about 4.5 years. And yeah, I was really pleased with this display. It was fantastic, worked really well, looked good with the soundbar. The display was fantastic, was really good. But you have to move on, and a Retina-like display, this LG, is really good. I'm really pleased with it. Next, which is behind the monitor, is, and you can only just see it, and this is it from the side, is a BT Business Hub 5. It's the same as the Home Hub 5, just with slightly different firmware on it. I am using some of the ports out the back, as you can see, but most of my networking goes via other parts, which we'll have a look at in just a moment. Now, next we have a phone. Now normally you wouldn't talk about a phone in a tech video, but this is a VoIP phone, voice over IP, and it's really good. It's a Snom 300. I've had this for about 5, must be nearly 6 years now, and it's a really good phone for taking calls and making calls over the internet. I'm really pleased with that. Use it for business, and it's got all sorts of extra little bits in it which are really useful. And if I do more of these videos, maybe I'll talk about that some more. Then we have a glass of water. I'm doing my desk setup. That is my iPhone. That's an iPhone 5S. Pretty pleased with that really. I'm not interested in the 6 particularly at the moment. Might upgrade later in the year. I don't know. We'll see. Next, we're coming down from the desk. Now you might notice actually with this desk that the desk is actually raised up. This is so that I can stand, and you'll see that it goes, got some legs down there, and it means that I can stand up to work, but it does raise and lower. That's what this switch is over here. This is allows the desk to go up and down, and I find that really good. I've been using a standing desk now for about a year, must be something like that, and I find that really good. Again, that's something that I could talk about perhaps on another video. So next on the desk setup, well, we're moving away from the desk now. This is a Cisco switch. It's an SG200-08 Cisco switch. I used to have a TP-Link switch for a while, and that worked really, really well, but that was an unmanaged switch. This one is a managed switch, which means that I can see what's going on with it. It's got other features like link aggregation, and not that link aggregation is that useful for a setup of my size, but there are good. It's good for redundancy maybe. And God, this is sounding so geeky. I might talk about that some other time for people that really are interested in that. Next, we have a Brother GL570 label printer. Now, I bought this just simply because it's quite handy to be able to print labels. Yeah, no kidding. I've had it for about 2-3 years. They're dirt cheap, and it's ideal for doing address labels, return address labels, and just sort of labelling things up. Generally, that's what they're for. This is the only thing I don't network. This is because I'm the only one who uses it, so there's no point having it on the network. I have it plugged in through USB, and I just turn it on when I need it. So next we have that's an iPad 3. That's quite old by today's standards, but it works well for me. I don't really need one of the fancy new iPad Airs, but I suppose I will have to upgrade it at some point. And then we've got that's a Mac. We've got a MacBook Pro. That's the 13-inch MacBook Pro, the 2013 model, which is really good. And next here we have. This is the next item, which is a Nexus solar panel monitor. Now, Nexus are a company that have actually gone into administration, and I've had all sorts of fun with the monitoring of my solar panels that are on the roof. And again, I can talk about that I could bore for England on that, and I'll perhaps talk about that and talk about solar panel monitoring and all of that side of things another time. But that is hooked up here. It's a wireless receiver, as you can see. There's a box upstairs that acts as a repeater, and then there are little transmitters on below each panel, each solar panel, and then this feeds up to a server which stores the data, and I can then monitor how my solar panels are doing. The next thing is down in this cupboard here, and it is a Synology disk station. This is a NAS drive, a network attached storage drive. This is the DS1513 Plus. I've had this for about 18 months now, and this is where all my data is stored, because the Mac Pro doesn't have an awful lot of storage space, which is something again I could talk about in another video if I ever make another one. This has got 5 bays in it. I'm using 4 of them. Well, 3 of them are my main storage, and 1 of them is a backup drive on its own. The 3 are obviously RAID. There's what is it, 12 gigs I think in total, yeah, and then 9 gigs raided together, which gives me I think 6 gigs of usable space, which is plenty. This also acts as a time machine backup for my MacBook and the Mac Pro, so and it has its own backup as well, and then once a week I plug in an external USB drive and back that up as well. But I think perhaps another video I could talk about backups at some point. I keep this in the cupboard. Some people might be saying, why are you keeping that in the cupboard? Surely airflow and cool, keeping it cool. And that's true. But what I do is I used to have it up on the desk here. Because my Mac Pro is so quiet, it just doesn't make any noise at all. I decided that all I could hear was the Synology disk station, because that's got a couple of fans in it. So I put it in the cupboard, and I can't hear it so well now. And the temperature, although the temperature on the Synology is running a little bit warmer, it's still well within the areas that you would expect it to be. So it works really well. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This may be one of a few videos. It depends how this one goes. If I fumbled over my words a little bit, then I do apologise because I'm very new at this. However, if you enjoyed it, or if you didn't, please leave some comments below. Thumbs up, please not a thumbs down, and I'll perhaps see you next time. Thanks for watching.